You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi. Marcy Persky is my co-host. In this installment, how wedding invitations, or for that matter, almost any invitation, resembles a hand grenade. Also, Marcy is wrestling with something that is kind of like an earworm, only from your nose. I just got a taste of my own medicine today. When we got married, we had to limit the size, and so we only had adults, no children, which actually the real reason we did that was partly about money and partly because the spousal unit had friends with a little kid who was raised like a wild animal. She was free ranged, and we knew that if she came, an entire wedding of 200 people would be made miserable. Because her parents thought it was fun, for example, to let her crawl down the center of a dinner table, plunging her hands, her little 2-year-old hands, into all the serving dishes. They thought this was helping her create her autonomy and express her preferences for things. So
Can
I said,
just inject here
yes.
that my 2-year-old would not have hands?
Yes, I understand. That's why I can share this with you. So I said to this spousal unit, no matter what we do, we have to make sure kids don't come or havoc. Well, if she wants to crawl up there and kick over the wedding canopy, they'll just think that's her expressing her early interest in architecture. So no. And so I was regretful in some ways because there were cousins of the grooms who I got to know later, and in retrospect, I would have liked them to have come. Well, we just got an invitation to an extended family member's wedding. And it came to us, and I had the embarrassing moment of asking, are the adult kids invited? And the host had to say, and she did it very nicely, we've left the kids in charge of the guest list mostly, so more of their friends and none of your kids. And I thought, I wonder how that feels. And I thought, taste of my medicine. It's all right. It's all right. I'm okay.
I don't think either one of your boys is going to crawl down the table, sticking his face into the liverwurst or chopped liver.
But there's a budget, so I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. And if everybody's relatives brought their kids, that this is the thing about wedding guest lists, which you wouldn't know because you got married without even inviting me. Thanks a lot.
It was a picnic
for the 6th time.
I know.
For the 6th time I'm reminding you, and the 6th time you got married. Maybe when I'm up to reminding you as many times as you've been married, I'll stop. But
I was just going to say, I'm finally at the age where people have stopped getting married, which is great because I hate weddings.
The whole guest list thing, whether you're doing a wedding or a kid's graduation party or somebody's retirement party, you just cannot do it right no matter what you do. Yeah. The guest list is basically a grenade. And the minute you pull out the pin and it hit send and all those envelopes go out, it's just a matter of time until various explosions happen in your life.
Have you ever been to a wedding where you were friends with the bride, but you really, really, really didn't like the groom?
No, but I've been to weddings where I knew it was going to be a divorce.
And
I've been to those.
You ever wanted to jump up when they said, speak now or forever hold your peace?
Oh, yeah. There were times when I basically said to whoever was accompanying me, just staple me to the chair. But they don't really ask that question, or at least if they do, they mumble it. They go, and you take it if anybody has objection, none, so speak up now. And then they move right on. I don't think they even ask that.
I think that they should make a dress, like a dress for wedding guests that says right on down the front of it, don't do it. So that you don't even have to speak. All you have to do is stand. And they could read your dress.
I would have needed a big bell skirt that said, you guys have been fighting on and off for 6 years, so this is clearly going to be a disaster. And that's a really big dress.
And I was thin then. It just says, are you just doing this for presents?
That wasn't the case. I think they somehow thought that on again, off again, on again, off again, somehow getting married would solve the problem of the on again, off again. And it did, because within 6 months they were off again, and that was that. That was it. Done. And a group of us sat around afterward. This is horrible to admit. And we laid odds.
Nice. Did you draw up like a little pool thing with squares like they do for football games?
I don't know enough about football to do that, and neither do many of my girlfriends. my spouse probably would have done it for us if we'd asked.
Like a Super Bowl betting thing.
Betting pool on the length of Sylvia and Joaquin's marriage, making those names up in case you can't tell. It's definitely, once you send those invitations out, it's just an explosion waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Tick, tick, tick. You didn't invite.
Yeah.
Tick, tick, tick. I thought you said no gifts. Tick, tick,
Well,
tick.
I'm sure
You expect me to drive all the way to...
I'm sure your boys are not really heartbroken over not going to this wedding.
I don't know. He's not offended by much. He's on my list, though. He's on my list.
He's always on your list.
He's always on my list. This is the big one, not the small one. He's on my list.
Right. Yes, the big one's always, you have a never-ending list.
That's what the spousal unit says. He says, you really have it in for him lately. And my response is, he deserves it. We came home from our little trip to do some work in California. I'm smelling. My sink smells bad. He hasn't cleared any of the garbage that accumulates in your drain. He hasn't put any of it in the garbage or the compost bin or the bag or anything. And I said, what the heck? He said, oh, we have disposal at our apartment. Like, well, dude, this was your childhood home. You know there's no disposal here. That kind of stuff.
He should know better.
Yeah.
He should know better.
He should know better.
Well, no, not he. We.
We?
It was like when we came home from a weekend and there were no pellets in the pellet stove. And it was 40 degrees in the house.
Holy smokes.
And our adult child house sitter said, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Well, there were a number of things. Like, he brought a dinner to his grandmother. That's nice. And then he brought the leftover food and left it sitting. Again, what is it with the leftover food? Left it sitting in a shopping bag behind the driver's seat of the car. So again.
Oh, nice.
What smells? Salmon, if you're wondering. It was old salmon. I'm glad it's been cold. It wasn't worse.
Oh, I hate stinky cars.
Well, don't ever get in my car. It's like a dog kennel in there now.
I sprayed mine before you got in.
I know. We've discussed the anesthesia. Oh, there was apparently a product sold at Walmart, like the most innocuous product in the world that I've ever heard of. And it confirms my belief that spraying stuff that'll make things smell better is probably a bad idea. They've tracked down, I think, 4 lethal experiences, 4 deaths from a rare infectious disease. Get this. Allegedly, the culprit is chamomile and lavender water sold at Walmart.
Sounds nasty anyway.
I don't want to. Well, you have the candle. Don't forget you have a candle.
Oh,
A
I love my
lilac
candles.
candle.
But that's not lavender. Lavender smells like old ladies.
I don't mind lavender. I just don't want it.
like
I just don't want
lavender.
it in my lungs, and I don't want chamomile in my lungs, and all
No,
that stuff.
chamomile. I drink chamomile.
Yeah, again, I drink all kinds of things I don't want to inhale. I drink rye whiskey. I don't want to stuff it into my lungs. I want a lung infusion.
That would be an interesting candle smell
Oh,
to
God.
go along with Gwyneth Paltrow's Lady Business.
Well, I bought my kid who wanted some kind of, I don't know, he wanted shower gel, and I found one that smells like, I don't know, beer, I think. Something awful.
Oh, that's nice. Stale beer.
Yeah, stale beer shower stuff. It's something like that. Something supposedly masculine, and I'm thinking, well, at least it gets you clean.
It takes me at least an hour to buy that stuff for my husband because I have to stand there and smell every single one of them.
Me too. You cannot pry me out of TJ Maxx in less than 45 minutes if I've gone in there to buy a shampoo or a shower thing or anything with a smell to it. I have just to stick my nose near it because my father worked in a lab, so I'm not allowed to stick my nose in anything. Instead, this is a childhood memory. All right, Turi, I'm going to teach you how to smell things. You open them up and then you wave over the top of the bottle gently towards your face, and that's how you don't ever stick your face, which, wouldn't have saved those people with the lavender and chamomile air freshener, but
No.
it would have stopped me from buying this stuff, probably.
I have a smell in my head, if that makes sense, that have been on a never-ending search for. And so every time I go into a place that has like smelly stuff, I'm smelling it all, looking to match the smell in
Oh,
my head.
what was it?
Well, it still is,
But
but
what was it originally?
um the smell that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I can't describe it.
Oh, so it's not like some lotion they don't make anymore.
No, it's just a smell.
Oh my gosh.
It's a smell. It's like a musky but not moldy smell.
And you know where you first smelled it?
No,
It's
I don't
probably
think
like
I've
your
ever smelled
husband's
it.
armpits or something.
Probably.
It's probably like your dog's old collar. Speaking of your dogs, who I can hear, how is the menagerie?
We have this group of feral cats that live next door. Those are cats that just kind of live.
Yeah.
They don't particularly like people. They take care of themselves. But it's where I think my derp runs away to every day to go
Oh.
hang out with his hoodlum friends.
Like West Side Story.
Exactly like West Side Story, except that they're not Puerto Rican and they're all different colors. And I doubt that they sing and dance. But what I do think is at least once a month, Derp, my cat, comes home without his collar.
Oh, they're going to
And
liberate him.
no, I think they're all wearing his collars
You
over there.
think? Oh, see, I think he wants to join the gang. He wants to show them that it's like the white boy rappers who aren't
I think
Eminem.
so you're thinking the opposite of me. I'm thinking that
They
they're
take his collar.
they're stealing his
I
collars
think he's
so
hiding
that they
his
could
collars.
go into people's homes and pretend to be house cats and then leave and go back next door and party.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we had a house
Or
around the corner that was like that.
or Frankie suggested he might have a girlfriend. He gives his collars to his girlfriends.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, like your
Like
class
going
ring.
steady.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
it's expensive, that's all. Actually, the little tags that where you have to like, carve in their names and their phone
Yes,
numbers
yes,
cost more than the collar.
yes, yes. They do. You can buy them in gross if you know that you're going to lose them.
I should probably do that.
Yeah.
For Eve's birthday, she wanted to go to Sedona for her birthday. And so she collects rocks and stones. And all she wanted for her birthday was a rock polisher, stone tumbler thing. So we got her that and a hammock so she could lay in the hammock and watch her rocks tumble. But she went into every single gem shop in Sedona, while I went into every single candle, smelly,
Ugh.
incense,
Mm.
anywhere where I could find a smell,
Mm.
looking for that smell. And I even tried to describe it to one person who I think went running from fear. I have to go do something in the back.
Crazy
But
lady.
yeah, I need to get this smell.
Certain smells are hard to get out of your head. Like, as you know, I swim, and I would say it takes a couple hours for the smell of locker room to leave my head. It won't.
Oh, I thought you were going to say chlorine.
Well, that's part of the smell. That's part of it. Yeah, it's not a really bad smelling locker room because it's women, not men, and we're neat. Leave
One
my
that
head.
sticks with me, and I don't know, I might have told you this, but the thrift store where I volunteer every Tuesday that supports hospice in Flagstaff is next door to a giant dispensary and grow place.
Oh yes, you've mentioned that the
And-
smell of the pot comes in.
And yeah, and all the old people that come in
What is
ask
that?
us is there a skunk in here?
Yeah.
They all want to know if it's a skunk.
Well, whatever you do, don't spray any of that chamomile and lavender scent around. A bunch of dead old people in a thrift shop. That would make the news. That would be a headline. Thanks for listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. If you'd like to do us a great favor, please leave us a good review wherever you hear this podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Turi Ryder's She Said What. And you might also enjoy my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air, which you can find any place you buy your books or on Amazon.